South London, sirens surround sound in the concrete jungles where justice is never found. Upper class wonder why we walk around highly wound and stay dressed for combat because there's a war underground. So we congregate in crowds, smoke problems away with loud. Love deprived and starved, we move through life like bloodhound, just trying to get by. Stay high and make a pound in a system that's designed for us to fail and stay down. We got big dreams, but they don't know the meanings. Try to do right, but the devil stays scheming. Try to move forward, we get held back. Wolves in sheep clothing stab you in your back. Hey, 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 whoa.
Woo. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Greetings.
Greetings, sir.
God-given talent.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
God, how long you been singing for?
Forever.
Forever. Forever, ever.
Forever, ever, ever, ever.
Forever, ever. I hear that. I hear that. You know, the crazy thing is that you got so much people in this area that got so much talent.
100%.
And they don't recognize the talent.
Yeah.
They don't recognize it.
I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
There's neighbours, everybody's got something to give, but it's just them tapping in and realising what their true potentials and their true power and their true worth is, you know?
No, I hear that. I hear that. You know, the other night I was down at one spot the other night, just down on the front there, you know?
Yeah.
And talked to a young man who's working on the door.
Yeah.
And the young man, very quickly I recognised the fact that the young man was a king without a kingdom, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it was. Yeah, so as I was saying, in terms of, you know, the God-given talents. And so this young man, I looked at him, I said, you know what you are? I said, you're a king without a kingdom.
Yeah.
You're looking for a kingdom.
Yep.
You know? And I'm sure that you know queens.
100%. I know queens. I know a lot of kings too. But the unfortunate thing is knowing a lot of kings that don't know that they're kings, and knowing queens that don't know that they're queens. You know, so they're not living up to their full potential, and they're settling for less in life than what they truly deserve, and they're not giving 100% of themselves. They don't even know themselves. That's the real problem, when people don't know themselves.
But right now, this is Black History Month.
Yeah.
If there's one month of the year when we're supposed to learn about ourselves, it's meant to be this month.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate. It shouldn't just be a month. This is something that we should be doing in general.
Well, right now, I'll take the month. I'll take a month to start
it's
off
better
with.
than nothing.
Yeah,
We'll
better than
start
nothing.
off with a month. That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like nothing seems to happen around here. Nothing at all, you know. We got all this, like, for example, check it. Behind us, this estate here, even though we know it as like the barrier, it's called moorlands.
Oh, yeah.
The Moors were the African Muslims who invaded Europe in the year 711, and they stayed for 800 years.
So you got the real bars. You got the knowledge. And this is what lacks, because I don't know that, and I don't live far from there. You know, and I never knew that myself.
Yeah,
so.
moorlands, that's what they call it. They call it the moorlands, and that's where they put the black people. The moorlands estate, you know?
Yeah.
And then
round everybody up, throw them in, lock the door.
Absolutely.
Concrete jungles where justice is never found.
You know that. So, what would you say in that case? I mean, you're a younger woman to me, yeah? What would you say is the major issue that younger people like yourself are having to deal with?
Well, first of all, I'm not that young.
You're not that young?
I'm younger than I look, but black don't crack.
Okay.
And Asian don't raisin. But no, in terms of age or something like that, but I think I'm in that balance of at that age where I completely understand what's going on the ground level.
So what is going?
That level, old enough to know better than to answer that question that you're not going to ask, that you're about to ask.
No. I would never do that. I'd never do that. No, of course.
But no, I've lived on that ground level, running up and down, getting myself into trouble to a degree, and I completely understand it, and that's just me as a female. It's completely different for even worse for guys, Music kept me out of a lot of trouble.
But right now, people are saying that it's the music that are getting people into trouble.
Yeah, and I understand why people would say that, but they're talking about people rapping about certain things. Now, I started rapping at a very young age. What do you think I was rapping about? I'm rapping about things that I know, things that I see, and it's unfortunate. Some of the things that are going to come out of my mouth are going to sound like I'm glorifying it. When I'm not glorifying it, I'm just telling my story.
Same.
So people get that confused with saying, right, you're glorifying drugs, you're glorifying guns. Where I come from, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And that's how people made their money, and that's what we had to look up to, unfortunately, because it was, we had these concrete jungles where in some of the bars that I have in that particular track that I just done there, I think the second verse, third verse, I addressed that. I'm talking about where we come from. It basically says it was all a dream. All we ever wanted to be was happy, rich, getting bags of money. People never had careers. Some went to work, but if you dropped out of school, then you probably sold work.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how it is. We didn't have those certain things to look up to because we have all been thrown into a place where, you know, you get people that are a little unfortunate or you know, a little less well off, and they put them all together. So we all look at each other, and when one person starts doing well, they look and say, oh, how did he do that? Or how did he get that? Or how did he get them kicks? Or, you know, and it ends up being like a material thing where it ends up being about money. Then people want to do anything to get money. People start doing bad things to get money. And, you know.
All right, but it's cool, man. Just roll. but you think about it, yeah. In terms of the world of the badness.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the world of the badness, the fact that we've become so addicted.
Yeah.
It's like we're just so drawn into that. We're so drawn in. It's cool, brother. You could go through, man. It's cool. Yeah, we're so drawn into it. It's
Into
like
what, though?
Into like the other day. I was in some music the other day, right?
Yeah.
What do they call it? Drill.
Oh, yeah.
I heard this rapper on some drill music. This man must have killed about 50 people in one track.
Yeah.
And you know that the people that he's killing are young black males
Yeah.
just like himself.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating violence against anyone, but I'm just saying that for me, I was like, the level of self-hate
Yeah.
is so ingrained. Like, check this one, because I do a lot of work in schools and stuff, right? So I had a classroom full of young black boys. So I said to these boys, I said, okay, come up with any adjectives attached to young black male. Anything that comes off it. These boys came up with, have a guess, they came up with 120 responses.
Yeah.
Adjectives for young black males, 120.
Positive.
Guess how many was positive? Have a guess. Out of 120.
None. 1.
4.
Yeah.
116 was negative.
It's just unfortunate the way that the way that everything's been going. The things that people look up to are, say, the bad things people look up to. It's the good in their lives. The way that their lives are at the moment, the things that they look forward to aren't the finer things in life. They haven't even seen half of those things. To know to reach out and to try and do better. I'm not saying that we don't have opportunities here. I'm not saying that people can't do better than, you know, gang banging and shotting and all the rest of it. I'm not saying you can't do better than that. But when you are growing up and you are very, very young and you haven't experienced life outside of your estate other than going to school, then you are looking up to your older brothers. You are looking up to the older guys on the, you know, around you. You're looking up to your uncles, especially if you don't have a father figure. That's even worse because you definitely, you know, or you may have a father figure. It could be even worse. Who knows? Like, you know, who knows?
All right, but then, you know, still building upon this point, because we've got to be looking at solutions, either political solutions or spiritual solutions or social solutions. But there's got to be some kind of solution has to come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other day I was in a prison. I'm doing a workshop with 50 inmates.
Yeah.
They was all black male. Average age was about 25.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing a workshop, doing a session in a mental hospital.
Wow.
Young black males.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, yo, we are on meltdown mode here.
Yeah. I agree.
And it's like no one is.
But we've been thrown into the pot. We're in meltdown mode, but we've been thrown into the pot. You know, to kind of like to cook ourselves almost. But it's whether we climb out or what we make from ourselves. Or, you know, we don't have to stay there, but it is difficult. These bars haven't been put up by us. You know, it's difficult. We need to see beyond that. Some people don't see beyond the bars in order to know that they need to break out of it. They don't even know the bars even exist.
So maybe the bars are inside of our heads.
Of course they are.
Inside of our minds.
Of course they are. Of course they are. That's where it all starts. It's not a physical bar. This estate looks like one big prison, but you know there are ways that you can get out. There's different exits. You know.
You know the maddest thing right now. Brixton is undergoing massive changes.
Oh yeah.
Millions and millions of pounds.
Social cleansing
are being pumped into Brixton.
Yeah.
And at the same time,
it's not for us. It's not for the people that grew up in Brixton. Those people are getting flushed out.
Either they're getting flushed out, pushed out, moved out,
washed out,
dashed out.
dash out,
flash
kicked out, locked out.
but the mad thing about it is that an area that we see
Yeah.
as being a kind of quote unquote ghetto, a next man is coming and has seen it as a possible place where you can make a whole heap of money. No, it's cool. It's real like that.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I mean, business is business, yeah, but at the end of the day, at whose expense? No, a lot of these people are being pushed out at the moment. The government, a lot of our young people that are actually locked up for what reasons? You know, I know people that have been arrested for all sorts of things, everything under the sun, but some of the things that in fact, probably everything that people are being arrested for, the government is doing.
Of course.
Every single thing.
Of course.
And this is a prime example.
Of course.
People being pushed out, the extortion, racketeering.
Yeah.
Demanding money by menacing. Like, I know it doesn't go that far, but to an extent it does, because if you can't afford to pay your rent, you're getting kicked out.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I hear that. I think in terms of solutions, because that's how we got to end on something constructive and something positive, you know.
Yeah.
I always like to pull out a little bit of knowledge to conclude. I always like to pull out a little something. Whoa. Right, check this one. This is fresh out of the bag.
Okay.
Yeah, this is fresh out of the bag. Because what I realise is...
Oh look, we don't have a permit for filming, we're gonna get nicked.
Nah.
Anything to shut it down. Right, 1 minute, we'll be finished in a minute.
Right. This one here. Politics and the English Language, George Orwell. And what this brother does in this book, he talks about the language that politicians use.
Yeah. The jargon, you mean?
Right, the jargon. So
the
it's
gobbledygook.
So it sounds right. So it sounds like English, but you're thinking, what did he just say?
Yeah, yeah.
And what's happened around here is that they've used the language where the people don't understand the language.
Yeah.
And so they've made all these decisions that have affected the community, and the community doesn't even realise.
It's not for the people, by the people.
Right.
That's where our issues lie. Things need to be for the people, by the people. But in order for that to happen, we need to stick together. We need to be lifting each other up and not throwing each other down. We need to come together. That is the only solution I have.
This man a policeman. This man's walking up and down, you know.
Probably.
Are you a police? Are you a police?
Leave it.
So, to you young bloods out there, Black History Month.
You might want to go through that again.
Yeah. We might want to go through that again.
Okay, so to the young people out there.
So to the young bloods out there, October Black History Month. We're on Somerleyton Road, which is basically the heart, or used to be the heart of the black community. When my dad came to this country in 1961 from Barbados, Somerleyton Road was the first road that he lived on. I lived on this road for over 15 years. My youngest son was even born on this road, not actually on the road, but he was home birthed on this road, you know? And behind is the Moorlands estate, which used to be terrace housing on both sides.
Everyone knows it as Somerleyton.
Everyone knows it as Somerleyton, but it's actually called the Moorlands estate, you see? Now, if you did your history, you'd know that the Moors invaded Spain in the year 711, came from North Africa, African Muslims, and they stayed for 800 years. They were finally driven out in 1492. Taught the Europeans how to take a bath. Taught the Europeans how to play chess. Gave the Europeans civilization, which is what they want to call it, the Dark Ages, the Moors. Do your knowledge. And then you understand why they call this the Moorlands estate.
And knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. What are you saying? I want to go and see if Lloyd is saying something. But yeah, we walk down.
Keep it moving, don't stop now. Unite, fight, we've got the power.
Come, let's go. Let's go find Lloyd.